All right, today we're diving into something, well, kind of revolutionary for anyone who's ever wanted to build for VR. It's a whole new approach that takes that massive, steep learning curve and basically turns it into a launch ramp for your ideas.
I mean, for a lot of us, right, the answer is a huge yes. That dream of just building a world from nothing, a place people can actually step inside and wander around in, it's a super powerful idea.
And this is usually where the dream grinds to a halt. You hit this wall of code. For years, getting into VR meant climbing this mountain of C#, trying to wrap your head around complicated game engines, and just weeks and weeks of studying before you could even see a simple cube floating in your headset.
But what if we could just get rid of that wall? What if you could spend your time focused on your vision, on the vibe of your world, instead of stressing about syntax? Well, it turns out there's a new way to do just that, and it's called vibe coding.
Though to really get how big a deal this is, you got to look at the old way, right? We're talking about a long journey. First, you've got weeks of just learning the code, the theory, then more weeks on VR concepts. On average, it takes a beginner a staggering 11 weeks just to get their first simple project running inside an actual VR headset. 11 weeks!
Okay, so what exactly is vibe coding? It's not some new software. It's a whole philosophy. It's all about using AI as your creative partner, your co-pilot, to keep you in that creative flow state. The whole idea is simple, really. You learn way faster and way better by actually doing things and tweaking them, not by trying to memorize a textbook for weeks.
And this is where it gets kind of mind-blowing. Just look at the difference here. The time to get something running in your headset, it drops from over 11 weeks to just 2 hours. Think about that. Your focus completely shifts from memorizing syntax to just expressing your vision. You're not studying so you can build anymore. You're building to learn. It's a total game changer.
So how is this even possible, right? The secret sauce is collaborating with an AI partner. This isn't just any chatbot. It's an AI that's built for these kinds of creative back and forths. Your job isn't to be a walking dictionary of code anymore. Now, this doesn't mean you don't learn the code. Of course you do. It just completely flips how you learn it.
Instead of writing lines of code from memory, your job becomes this. You learn to write really clear, descriptive prompts that explain what you want to create. You basically describe the experience you're imagining, and the AI translates that into code and gives you a step-by-step guide. You're like the creative director, and the AI is your super fast technical artist.
And this is what that workflow looks like in action. It's a super fast, tight loop. You come up with an idea and prompt it. You follow the AI's guidance to put it in your project. And here's the key part. You test it in VR immediately. You can see and feel if it's working, and then you jump right back to step 1 to tweak it. That immediate feedback loop is everything. Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like in practice? What can you really build this way? Let's take a look at what happens over a 10-week journey, using this exact method, going from a totally blank screen to a seriously polished portfolio.
The speed here is just wild. By the end of the very first week, you've already built and tested your first app. By week 4, you're making a mini game that has multiplayer. I mean, let that sink in for a second. Multiplayer in just 1 month. Fast forward to week 8, and you're building pro-level training simulations. And it all culminates in a totally original capstone project by week 10. And we're not talking about little throwaway tech demos here. The stuff you build is real professional work you can put right into a portfolio. Things like a puzzle game with 5 complete levels, a training sim that actually tracks data, even a social VR space with avatars and voice chat. These are complete, polished experiences that are ready to go. And you know, it's not just about making things that work. It's about making things that work well. A huge part of this is learning how to optimize your worlds to hit that magic number, 90 frames per second. If you spent any time in VR, you know that's the gold standard. It's what makes an experience feel smooth and comfortable. And the cool thing is, the AI can actually help you figure out those tricky performance tweaks that usually trip up new developers.
So here's the real takeaway. Vibe coding changes the whole point of the exercise. The goal isn't to force artists and storytellers to become hardcore programmers who memorize code. It's about giving them the confidence to take an idea, a vision, and actually ship it. You absolutely still learn why the code works, but you learn it by doing, by creating, right from the get-go.
Ultimately, this just blows the doors wide open. It makes VR development accessible to so many more creative people. And really, it all comes down to one simple question, a question that feels more possible to answer than ever before. What world are you going to build first?